Hey, this is Chef and Father Greg Johnson, and you are listening to the all-new Chef and Father podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to the all-new Chef and Father podcast. If you listen to any of my podcasts in the past, which are now gone, you've probably listened how the Chef and Father podcast was about getting chefs together, chefs who are parents mostly, and just talking about what it's like to be a chef, what it's like to be a parent, how those kind of come together. And I like that concept, but I've sort of evolved in this new direction, and I want to have a podcast that has a lot more guests on it, a lot more people we can Skype in, and a little bit more towards the sort of health and fitness aspect of being a parent and cooking and how we eat. So a lot of the guests I'm going to have on here is going to be people in the health and fitness industry as well as chefs, and kind of just how they feed their kids, how they feed themselves, and how they balance those things. You know, we might have somebody who is completely very strict on their diet for themselves, very fit parent, yet the way they feed their kids might be different. It might be the same. We don't know. I'm just really interested in how someone who might be a gluten-free lifestyle, if they feed their kids gluten-free, and how they balance that, and how we deal with, going to parties and going to school and having these sort of, standards of the way we like to eat, the way we like to live, and the way we like to feel. And when other people's standards don't meet those, how we deal with that. I really want to find out from other parents and just learn more about the good ways to eat, the way we can feed our kids in a way to where they're going to learn how to feel good. I mean, the way I eat right now, if I have been doing this for the past 30 years, as opposed to just the past, couple years, and the way I've evolved from that, that would be amazing. So it's like, can I teach my kids to eat a certain way so they feel amazing their whole life, not just later when they kind of figure it out, or if usually when there's problems. I just, heard from this guy who said most people don't think about eating healthy until they're sick or until they're dying, and then you start focusing on your health. And in a lot of ways, people, unless something happens bad, that's when they start to make changes. For me, it was when I thought I was chef and father. I thought I was being healthy. I thought I was eating, mostly real food, which I was. And I thought that was enough. And then I had a blood test, and I saw the words, "You were at risk for pre-diabetes." My blood sugar levels were high. Everything else was okay, but that blood sugar really scared me, and that word diabetes freaks me out, because I preach, eat healthy and avoid being diabetic, avoid being obese. I was only about, 15 pounds overweight, but for me, that was a big deal, because I got young kids. I'm in my 40s. I want to be running around with them, playing, being able to do anything and never feel tired, not be able to, I want to be able to go down a slide, run through obstacle courses with them, run around the park. If they're off riding their bikes, I want to be able to chase them down. If they're, on a skateboard going towards the busy street, I want to be able to sprint and get them and keep them safe and just be a healthy, awesome parent. So I've changed the way I eat, and it's such an amazing feeling, and I just want to share it with everybody. And I don't want this to be, a typical health and fitness podcast, and here's how you should eat, and that. I want it to be more getting everybody together. And, some people are going to be paleo, some people are going to be gluten-free, some people are going to not care at all maybe. I'm just going to get all different types of people, and we're going to explore this whole world of health and fitness and food and eating and being a parent, and how all that comes together and what we're going to do about it. Some people might be controversial, some people might be just normal, and, hopefully anyone listening is going to make changes as far as, we're just normal parents. I happen to be a chef. Other people on the show are not going to be chefs. Other people are going to be just, normal parents who are into food. Some people are going to be, like say someone has a celiac disease and they can eat gluten, and how do they balance that with the fact that their kids can eat gluten, but do they feed them gluten? Because then they have to make different food for themselves. Love to talk with people who have kids who have some sort of celiac or gluten-free disease, and I hate that word disease, but they just happen to not be able to, their body can't handle gluten. How they deal with that with their kids going to school and parties, and it's just like allergies and all that kind of stuff. And why do kids have so many more allergies now than we used to? Why? When I was a kid, I don't remember anyone having a peanut allergy in my school. There was no warnings and signs around of no peanut-free zone and all that. It's like, what's the difference now, 20 years later, 30 years later, than then? What are we doing differently? What caused this? And it's not like we can make a change like this, but the past 30 years, what is, we probably have to go further back than that, because what were my parents doing that came to me that I was doing that passed on to my kids, as far as now having allergies and people, a lot more autism and different things. And I kind of blame all that on our food system, because our biology hasn't changed. Our surroundings haven't changed too much. I mean, obviously there's a lot more electronics and EMF type things in the air and that type of stuff. But really, we're breathing the same air. We're in the same world, the same atmosphere. But what's changed a lot is our food system and processed foods and all these type of things are 100% different now than they were when I was a little kid and when my parents were younger, of course. My grandma ate food that was real food. The way I preach eat real food is what my grandma used to eat. There was no even boxes of cereal. There was no ingredient lists with 40 different ingredients on there, and it looks like you got a package of just little circles of look like dried dough, like cereal. But then there's 40 ingredients on there. Why is that? And a lot of people are into, the labeling of food, and should we label everything if it has a GMO product in there? And yes, that would be great. For some reason, we keep voting that down, and it's really tough to do for whatever reason. Why? Usually it's involved with some sort of money or something. But I feel like when I look at my grocery cart, I don't care about labels, because nothing in my grocery cart has a label on it. There's an avocado, there's vegetables, there's meat, all these one ingredient items that I bring together to make my own dish. That to me is the key to eating real food and eating the best way possible. That's where you start. You start with one ingredient items. Grab this. Oh, olive oil. What's in olive oil? Olive oil. Grab an avocado. What's in an avocado? Oh, avocado. You don't need a label, because it would just say avocado. Grab a grass-fed steak. Is there an ingredient list on there? No, because it's just a grass-fed steak. That's all there is in it. And you know where it comes from. You know what the ingredients are. So you can combine those together to make your dishes. And you know that everything's a whole food ingredient. There's no artificial anything. There's nothing random in there. Because sometimes you grab something you might think is healthy, like soy sauce, and then there's all kinds of, there's wheat in there, and you might have a friend's kid over who has a severe gluten allergy, and you don't think anything about giving them soy sauce, because you don't think, well, there's no bread in soy sauce. It's not thick. So you fill it up, but there's wheat in there, and there's soy, and it's like, we got to educate everybody and eat certain ways where we don't think, not even, I don't know, because I feel weird, because I tried lately to not eat gluten, and that's feeling really good to me. But that's a choice I'm making, because I could eat bread all day long and I'm not going to get sick. But what I feel is I thought I felt fine, but it was only because I didn't know how good I could feel. So now that I've cut out gluten more or less out of my diet, or cut way back, and done a lot of different things, I feel so amazing that now if I eat a big pile of pasta or bread, I feel terrible. And by feeling terrible, I probably feel the way I used to feel all the time. So that to me is like, if you can inspire people to get to the point where they feel a way they don't even know how good they could feel, then you can't go back. Then you don't want to go back. It's one of those things, and then all of a sudden you're feeling so good, you start exercising more, and then my problem right now is trying not to exercise too much. The body needs to rest, and I'm so into it and feeling so good. I want to work out every day. I want to run every day. I want to exercise every day because I'm feeling so great, and I kind of just have to hold it back and be like, we're good. And so, I'm loving on this new Chef and Father podcast. It's going to be super fun. And it's basically just, this is what I'm into. So this is what I want to talk about. And it has to do with the future of just the way we eat and the way our kids are going to carry on our traditions. And, I don't know. I'm just hoping to get some really great people on here. Some really people that are out there just doing the fringe kind of alternative stuff of eating, and if they're eating in this kind of extreme levels and doing health and fitness in these extreme levels, are they having their kids do that 100%? And how is that affecting the way, kind of like when your kids go to school, they're dealing with a lot of people and teachers and administrators and all the other students. And if you rock that boat too much, it can cause problems. I mean, even us as adults, if you go to a dinner party and you start saying all the things that you don't eat, and you're going to kind of sound like a jerk. If a host of a party makes all this food and you're going to be like, is this conventionally factory farm raised beef? Because I'm not going to eat that. I only eat grass-fed beef. You sound like an idiot. Or not an idiot, you just sound like elitist and rude. So how do we balance that? How do you go to parties and stay on the way you eat? How do you talk about it without sounding arrogant and elitist? Because all you want to do is be healthy and eat great and inspire other people to do the same. So something with food where we kind of get where, if you start talking about it too much, people think, I don't know, it's just weird with food. It's education. You could talk about how you want your kids to be really smart and learn languages and all this, and all that's good. But if you start talking about how you only want your kids to eat certain foods, other people are like, whatever, right? You get this kind of resistance towards it. So I want to talk about that with people and explore that and see how we can change that and how it could be normal to do that, and how we can do it in a way where other people don't get offended or feel bad or have some sort of fear-based response of, immediately putting it down because they don't know about it, or they just don't want to think about it because it's too hard, and then so they make fun of it or put it down or make you feel bad because you want to be healthy. So it's the new Chef and Father podcast. I'm out here at my farm. I'm staring at acres and acres of just grass, and my neighbor's got his tractor out. He's pushing stuff. I see him throwing hay down. It's the new Chef and Father. We're out here. We're going to get healthy. I'm going to start planting gardens out here this summer. We're building greenhouses. We're building properties. Life is beautiful. Please stay tuned. Please subscribe and download and comment and do all that kind of stuff, because we are going to be doing some cool stuff here. I'm jumping into a genre of oversaturation, meaning there's a ton of podcasts about health and fitness, and I don't care, because I'm going to jump in there with my own style, my own thing, talking about parents. How does a parent do, choose to go to the gym as opposed to spending time with their kids. And how do we do it? Are we working out at midnight because that's the only time we have? Are we waking up at 4 in the morning to get some meditation time before the kids wake up? It's so cool. It's just a fun way to not lose yourself in being a parent and focused on totally everybody else and kind of go back to yourself. It's that oxygen mask. Put on your own oxygen mask before you help others, before you help your kids. So my oxygen mask is me feeling great, and I got to take care of me first if I'm going to be the best parent I can be. So have a listen. It's a Chef and Father podcast, part 2. I will see you soon. All right, I hope that gave a great overview of what we got coming up with the new Chef and Father podcast. Best way to find me is just go to chefandfather.com. From there, you can link up to Twitter, you can link up to Facebook, you can link up to my blog, and subscribe to everything, YouTube. We're all over the place, so check it out, Chef and Father. Do a Google search, have some fun. Hope you stick with me, and we shape this new future. Peace.